in the NFL, and we know that a month ago the Steelers were 10-3, and we were talking about Russell Wilson getting a real contract extension. Mike Tomlin was giving thumbs up to the cameras, and he was winking and hugging Russell Wilson. It was a feel-good story. 4 games later, they're a 10-point underdog to their biggest rival, Baltimore, and Mike Tomlin is saying, according to reports this morning, yeah, we may go back to the other guy, Justin Fields. Justin Fields is 14-30 as a starter with a passer rating under 85, and he gets hurt a lot. That's not the answer. This is something, and I know I can sound preachy, so I'll try not to, but this is something I've been on with defensive head coaches for a long time. They do not sense the urgency at quarterback. I have watched Kyle Shanahan move off Jimmy Garoppolo, who got his team to a Super Bowl. Andy Reid move off the very good Alex Smith. Sean McVay move off Super Bowl quarterback Jared Goff. You're watching Goff deal in Detroit. He's an A quarterback in this league. So defensive coaches do this regularly. And when Pete Carroll said, hey, Geno Smith is my guy, John Snyder, the GM, decided, Pete, you're not my guy. And I think it was probably the right decision. So memo to defensive head coaches, the best quarterback, 8 for 8, won every division. And yesterday for my birthday, my staff at the Volume got me a gift, which was incredibly thoughtful, is that, I worked in Portland for a long time, and I knew Phil Knight, and I've always had great respect for Nike and its vision and its business. And when Phil Knight founded the company, he had this manifesto, I guess is lack of a better word, a manifesto, the 10 principles, of Nike. And number 1 was our business is change. And number 2 was we're on offense all the time. Phil Knight would have been a good NFL GM and head coach.
Okay. Let's take a step back here. Okay. Let's take a step back here. Listen. First off, I remember not too long ago, everybody was praising Mike Tomlin for making the change at the quarterback position with Justin Fields, even though they were winning games. And they were like, oh man, what's he going to do? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? And then Russ completely transformed that offense, and people were like, kudos to Mike. They were still winning. He knew it wasn't good enough. He felt the urgency and the necessity of it, and he moved on from Justin Fields and started Russ, and boom. Now look at this offense, and everybody was like praising them and showing the difference between they were doing like 15 points per game, now they're 30 points per game, etc., etc. And now we're like, Mike Tomlin doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. And it's like, what? Like, what? He's doing the best that he has with the guys that he has. I don't think Russ is... is Russ limiting the Steelers' offense? He's limiting it as much as anyone at this age or at this point in their career would be. Right. Would the Steelers be able to be a better offense if they had a 25-year-old Josh Allen? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. The Steelers' offense would look a lot more dynamic and exciting and have a higher ceiling. I think that's fair. But as we know, offense, there's only so many quarterbacks to go around. What did you want the Pittsburgh Steelers to do this year going into this season if it wasn't Russ or Justin Fields? Where are you going to go? Like, what are the other quarterbacks out there? Sure, could you take a chance and draft someone? Would Spencer Rattler be elevating the Steelers team right now? Like, unless you were going to say the Steelers needed to make a big move and try to draft Jaden Daniels or something. Like, yeah, like, I'm all for that, but I don't even know if that, like, I don't even know what they would have had to have done to even try to make something like that happen. That's always kind of been the problem with the Steelers with trying to get a quarterback, is they consistently win, so they're never really drafting that high. That becomes the problem here. But based on what you have right now, Russ is going to be better. He's obviously has not been perfect, especially these last few games. That can't be argued. He has not been perfect. He's made some, bad decisions. And he's got to make great decisions. At this point in his career, he has to be the guy who makes nearly flawless decisions. Like, that's why you're the seasoned vet. And going to Justin Fields, You add a little bit of youth and energy, but Justin Fields doesn't know how to run an offense. That much is very clear. That much is very, very clear. He does not know how to run an offense. Can he make some nice throws? Can he scramble and run? Absolutely. He doesn't know how to run an offense. The moment they put in Russ in there, you knew immediately, oh, that's a guy who knows what's going on. That's a guy who walks up to the line and looks around and actually knows exactly what's going on. Justin Fields is looking around like, oh, God. I'm supposed to move my head around because that makes it look like I know what I'm doing. And then I say some words. I mean, like, he looks so frazzled still. He just does. It's very obvious. Very obvious. I mean, that is the absolute undeniable benefit of a seasoned veteran. They know how to run an offense, and you can see it as clear as day. Just watch one drive with Justin Fields and watch one drive with Russell Wilson, and it's as clear as day. My whole thing was that Justin Fields needs to be treated like a rookie this season. That's why I wanted him to sit the whole season and just learn behind Russ. Learn how to run an offense. Learn how to be more comfortable. I'm not so sure he's been learning that this season, honestly. I don't really know. And at this point, like it's more desperate to be like, okay, we'll throw in Justin Fields now. In some aspects of the game, you might get a little extra juice. I totally agree with that. Totally. In other aspects, it's like, no, man. You are going to be limited. You are going to be held back. That's why you made the change when you did. Justin Fields was literally, I mean, like, just watch that game against the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, like, he just could not do anything. He just doesn't know how to, like, I can't even put it in words all the time. And this is not me hating on Justin Fields. But it's just, my whole thing is like, what do you want the Steelers to do in this immediate moment? And what would you have wanted them to do this season? They took a flyer on a top pick with Justin Fields, who a lot of people were like, the Chicago Bears are just a disaster. That ended up being true. So actually, it was kind of a smart move for them to be like, hey, let's take a look at Justin Fields. And then they were able to get Russ for, $1. That's also a great move on their behalf. If they didn't do those two things, they wouldn't even be where they're at right now. They wouldn't even be in the playoffs, which you could say that would actually benefit them, that they would be losing all these games, that they would be like a 4-game, a 4-win team, 3-win team, and then now they would be drafting at the top. Like, you could make that argument. I'm not here to try to debate whether teams should, lose on purpose or not. My whole thing is like, if you're going to win games and you can't draft top quarterbacks, then what do? You have to really hope you can find that sneaky 2nd rounder, 3rd rounder, 4th rounder. But, like, come on, how often does that really happen? Everybody was praising Brock Purdy. Now people like Colin are saying Brock Purdy's got to get out of there. Or you can't pay him money. He's not that good. So I don't know what you do. Could you have made a play for Sam Darnold? Sure. But let's not pretend like everybody saw what Sam Darnold was doing this season. Not to mention everyone's saying that Sam Darnold is this way because of Kevin O'Connell. And if you want to now criticize Mike Tomlin for being a defensive head coach and you need to go get an offensive head coach, again, my other question is, well, who are you hiring? If you want to make a big splash play, fire Mike Tomlin and go after like a Ben Johnson, sure, again, by all means. But we're you got to be aggressive. So I don't know. There's never an easy answer for the Steelers because they're consistently not terrible. They're not consistently great, but they're not consistently terrible. When you look at how the Cowboy seasons have ended, when you look at how some of the Eagle seasons have ended, the Bengals, the Browns, like, you can look around in the league and be like, okay, it's time to fire this coach. Okay, it's time to move on. It's time to draft another quarterback. Like, it's very easy. It's very cut and dry. But when you have the Steelers consistently good, stretches of great and special, and never bad, that's just like the hardest thing to do. That actually becomes so much harder to make. It's so much easier when you're in a relationship with someone who you are madly in love with. I love this person. I'm never finding anyone better than this. This person makes me feel at home. When you're dating with someone who you think is awful, they're abusive, they're mean, they're nasty, they're always like, oh, my head hurts, my back. It's always something with them. They're never happy. Okay, I got to get the heck away from this person. But when you're with someone who's like, yeah, it's pretty good. We have some fun. It's never too bad. We don't really fight that much. We don't really laugh that much either. We have our times for sure. It's pretty easy to like kind of run errands with and, go on trips and stuff. But, it just is. Like, what do you do with that? You're like, well, I don't know. I've been in relationships before where it was like really bad and this isn't really bad. But like, could it be better? I don't, and then you get stuck. You don't know what to do. That's my biggest fear. If I'm dating and going out with people, I'm like, oh, my biggest fear is kind of just liking someone. Because I'm like, what do I do with this? Do I move on? Do I let go? Like, I don't know. My biggest fear, one of my biggest fears, I got lots of fears. And that's where the Steelers are. That's where they've been for a while now. But, I think we could have that discussion and not have it be this, like, open season on them here. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin, and Russ potentially limiting this offense? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.